Hey, welcome to Games with Trev. I'm Monique, and this is Trev, and as promised, this week we're going to be reviewing Splendor Duel.
Splendor Duel is a sequel to Splendor. It is a two-player version of it, even though Splendor can be played at 2 players. Splendor Duel is honestly an incredible game. It makes Splendor way more fun in my opinion. What the difference is between Splendor Duel and Splendor is a couple of differences. The first one being is how you acquire gems. Before, you used to just take gems from a pile, but now there's this board, a grid system, where you can take essentially any 3 in a row, either like vertically, horizontally, or diagonal. But if it hits a gold piece and breaks the chain, you can only take 2 or 1 pieces. The other difference is buying cards, there's less out in the market. So it's like a pyramid shape. There's 5 on the first row, 4 on the middle row, 3 on the top row. The other difference is there's things called scrolls. We'll get that to in a second of how they're important to the 2-player aspect. Am I missing anything?
I think that's about it. Other than that, it's basically everything else you would know from Splendor works about the same.
Yeah. Oh, except for the winning condition is different.
Oh, that is true.
So now there's 3 winning conditions. You can either have 20 points, 10 crowns, or 10 of any one type of gem.
So hard.
It is so hard to get that one.
But anyway, I think what really makes Splendor Duel awesome are these different aspects that we just talked about. The differences in between. Because honestly, like, they could have gotten Splendor and just put it in a 2-player box. Like,
True.
But these differences make the game what it is. And starting with, like, the grid that you were talking about, I love, like, specifically me, I love that you're able to take gems diagonally. Because it really messes up the other person.
That's
because
true. Because it breaks everything apart.
And there's not as much access to the other 3 gems, like,
That
wherever on the board.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure there's only 4 spots.
I think it's 5.
5 spots?
5.
So it just, like, the irregularity of it is just, like, kind of frustrating, but it helps the 2-player flow really be what it is.
Yeah, because it makes it so, like, you can't get the gems you want. Where, like, in regular Splendor, you could basically kind of get any gem you'd like, essentially.
It just takes time.
It just takes a little bit of time, but like this way you have to plan it out because, like, well, if I take these ones this time, then maybe she'll take these ones and then I can't get it. And so you have to really weigh your options of like what's important. And like there's these things called pearls now, which are super, super important. There's only 2 in the game.
They're kind of powerful too.
And they're the only ways to get crowns. Because every crown card requires a pearl. And if you get 10 crowns, like we said, you win the game. And so something that happened when we played is Monique noticed I needed crowns because I was only a couple away. So she just took the pearls and she didn't buy anything. So I could never get them back. Because the way that you replenish the board is after buying cards with the gems, you put them in a bag. And then for a turn, you can place them all out.
And it gets to the point where, like, at least we were trying to buy as many cards, like 1 more card than the other person, so we didn't have to fill the board.
Yeah.
Because then it just kind of limits the things that you can do. I don't know. It just felt like a...
Well, the thing is like, back to the scrolls now, this is where they start to come in.
That's true.
One of the ways to gain a scroll is, let's say I replenish the board, she gets a scroll now. And a scroll lets you take any gem off the board for free minus a gold. And it's huge because it's
so nice
because it's on top of your turn. It's not your turn. It's an extra thing you can do at the beginning of your turn.
So if a card costs like 3 gems plus like a pearl, you could take all of those if you had a scroll
in one turn.
And it really can like push you forward in the game, but you probably are going to only get 1 scroll every once in a while because then the other player's going to get it and they're going to get a turn to take one of those extra gems. So it's like I didn't feel that the scrolls were too overpowered or that it was just a fight to get them either. It was just a nice plus.
Yeah, the other way to get scrolls is 2 ways. The first one is if like, let's say again, if I took both pearls off the board, Monique gets a scroll. Or if I take 3 of one color, she also gets a scroll. So it kind of makes you limit of what you want to pick up because you don't want the other player to get that bonus. So it honestly makes the two-player aspect hugely important in that aspect.
Another thing that I really liked is the way that you reset the board. You don't get to really choose where they go. Otherwise, I feel like that would kind of ruin the game. But you draw from the bag, and there's like a pattern on the board that you have to follow. And so as you're laying these pieces in like the circle, none of them really line up to where you can get like 2 blues and a red and pay for this card. Like, I didn't ever see that where I could just like grab stuff and pay for a card. It never really happened that way.
It's true. Another cool thing they added is basically they're kind of like investors. I can't think of the word, but they're also in Splendor, where like certain cards will give you bonuses, like little people.
True.
And in this one, it's cool because as soon as you get 3 or 6 crowns, you can take one of those. And it basically just gives you an extra action or something extra you can do as well as points. And so like it's hugely important to be the first one to get those 3 or 6 crowns so that you can get the one you want. Some of the actions include taking another turn, taking a piece off the board, stealing a gold from another player, which is huge, or just straight up 3 points. And like each of those honestly have their own benefit at different times during the game. Because you don't want to take the gold stealer if they don't have gold to be stolen.
Exactly. Or there's one that's like 4 points, but in the games we played, we never took that one first because we wanted the extra actions. So I liked seeing the balance that they made with those cards because you never knew really which card was going to get chosen first.
That's true. The other cool thing is those extra actions we've been talking about are on some of the actual gem cards as well. So once you hit like the 2nd or 3rd tier, there are those extra actions where you could take an extra turn, which is huge in the game. There was a couple times where like we played a game and I took the extra action and I won because of it. And so like, it's just like you have to plan out your time so well. One thing I think that I would work on playing this game is watching her. Because honestly, I was so focused on what I was doing, I forgot what she was doing. And like, she won one time and like, she snuck up on me and I had no idea.
Just one time.
But just one time. Don't get confused. I still won.
No, I agree. Like, that's what helped me win that time was I was watching what he was doing. And that's when I had like gotten those pearls. I knew he was going for crowns. And so I limited his options and gave myself more options to take without being hindered by him. And so it was like,
it's true.
it was good.
Yeah, and I think that like the winning conditions are pretty like they're pretty much like the same. Like it's not harder to do one versus the other, except for the 10
card of the same color. That one, how?
It's so
is
hard.
My question.
Yeah.
I feel like that one would take like double the time.
Yeah, it's true.
Or even the 20 points.
I got 20 points on one of mine.
You did, but I feel like it's easier if you're not...
The crowns is the easiest.
If you're not watching the other person, like, and they're getting crowns, like, they're going to get it within...
Yeah, I take it all back what I said. Crowns is definitely the easiest. 100%. Because, like, we started playing, I think you only had 1 crown, and I think I had 7 at one point.
Yeah, and he won.
Because I only needed 3 crowns. It's not that hard.
A couple, like 15, 20 minutes, and it was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, we're playing again. And after that, I learned, okay, I gotta be watching.
You have to keep it balanced.
The crown placement. Otherwise, the other person's just gonna win. So,
True.
I don't know if they're completely balanced. 10 cards of the same color, definitely not.
The closest I got was 7 cards, and I tried. I actually tried to do it, and I just couldn't.
It's too hard.
Because I finished another way faster without even trying.
I think it's a good other winning condition. Like, I can't think of anything else that they could have done.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's like, yeah, if you get 10, you win.
Yeah. They're like, if you did that, good luck. But if you do it. But it's awesome.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, going back to our 2-player game list that we made where I put it as number 5, wrong. This one is going to be, it's probably one of the only games that is really fighting for that number 1 spot right now. Like, genuinely, I think it is, like, right next to Wingspan. I know she's looking like I'm crazy, but
no,
I love Wingspan, but I love Splendor, and this just, like, made Splendor so much better.
It's good, but I stay true to my...
Where would you put it then? Where would you rate it?
I put it as number 2. I think it's a good number 2.
It is so good.
I don't think it's as good as Wingspan Duo, but it's really good.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I recommend this to everyone. Like, go out and play this game. It is so awesome.
Oh, and it's so easy to learn. That's the other thing is like it literally took us like maybe 10 minutes to learn. And then we just played, and there wasn't any like questions or like checking the rule book and being like, oh, what's this, And there's no like too many symbol. I don't know. I thought it was super easy and like kids could learn it. Like I have a sister who's 10 and a brother who's 5. I'd probably say like 7 to
I'd say like 9 and above.
A 7-year-old could learn it.
They could learn it, but it just wouldn't be fun with them because I feel like you'd be taking their turns.
If you had a smart 7-year-old, they could play.
If you had a smart anything-year-old, they could play.
Another thing, you know me, packaging.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. I liked it. There was no extra bags or...
There were no bags. That's the key.
Except like where the chips go. But that was a fabric bag.
Oh, yeah, but that's like part of the game.
But then the chips like fit in nicely and like everything just goes in its place. And people who make games to fit in their box the way they're supposed to go and you don't have to buy an extra insert belong with all the good people in the world because I just think that's the way it should be. And so I liked that the packaging
It's true. It was
made
awesome.
sense and it all fits.
I will say though, this game is probably more on the expensive 2 players.
True.
It is $30. It's not like a huge break your budget game, but like obviously it's gonna be more than Yapper or what else do we talk about? I don't know, a lot of the other games.
But it is fairly new, and I think that's part of it.
That's true.
I mean, we were willing to pay $30 to buy this game.
But you're also paying for quality. Like the chips are awesome. The bag is really nice. Like again, the game box is really well done. Everything fits perfectly. Like,
that's true.
There's no wasted space.
For the quality of the game, I would say it is worth the $30. I don't feel like it's like too expensive for that reason. Just because like all the pieces are so nicely made, and they're not gonna like you're not gonna have to replace them ever.
Yeah, they're super awesome. One of the only downsides is learning how to strategize in this game because a lot of times it just feels like, oh, I'm just collecting and buying, but you've got to be P-less, which means to be smart. You got to be P-less about this because you've got to be able to look ahead towards those second and third row cards, which are going to be worth more, have better benefits, and you've got to be smart about it. The other thing is scrolls. In the beginning, I got 3 scrolls in front of my board, and I didn't use them for like 4 or 5 turns.
You just had them in front of him, and I wanted them so bad.
But I didn't know how to use them. I just didn't know how to like benefit from them. And so like literally, I put the batteries in, and I figured it out. Like honestly, and like once I learned how to use the scrolls and look ahead, I learned a lot about the strategy of the game and a lot about how to strategize in regular Splendor, to where I think I'd be better at the regular one too now.
True.
We'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, we say this every video because we're going to 1,000 subscribers. We have a giveaway coming out. Please subscribe. We looked at our subscriber rate and literally 97% of the people who are watching our videos don't subscribe.
Subscribe!
So help us out. If you guys like our content, we know you do, you're watching. So subscribe, please.
And if you like this video, hit that like button because we love seeing that you guys love our content.
It is so much fun. Again, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us talking about Splendor Duel. Have a great day, have a great week, and have a good one. We'll see you next time.